Hey, Billy, is this still a good time to get an apartment tour?
Yeah, come on in.
Wow. So this just opens straight up into the dining room like this?
Which has all this plasterwork on the walls.
Yeah, so stained glass
Stained
cabinet.
glass. It looks like they used to have locks for it. So that would have been the original wood.
Okay, probably
Yeah.
a liquor cabinet, yeah?
Yeah, I keep my weed and video games in there.
Smart.
Yeah. Um, I keep my weed everywhere. Yeah. I don't think there's anything else. But yeah, let me show you.
And this mirror, that kind of looks like a face, right?
Yeah, that was from the shop Totokayo back in Seattle. I think they shut down during the pandemic, but yeah, I loved it. It was just like had so much sculptural um, fun to it.
I love the living room. The pink couch is probably my favorite.
Thanks. I actually picked it up from this shop up on Damon in Ravenswood called District.
Okay.
Um, and yeah, it's Gus Furniture, um, which is a Canadian company. And District is like one of the only places that in Chicago, at least, that carries it.
Amazing. I love the lighting too.
Oh yeah, I have to have mood lighting. So when I first moved into this place, it was June 2020. So there, I couldn't go to thrift stores. I couldn't really go shopping. So I ordered a lot of stuff online. And this is surprisingly on from the back pages of Target. Yeah, when I saw the code ceiling, um, I mean it definitely was a selling point when I was looking at the place. I mean I love color. I like things that are unique and have character, something that doesn't look like um, you could just pick it up from anywhere else. But I'm not a snob. I mean, I definitely have IKEA furniture mixed in. I actually do have a soft spot for IKEA just because, you know, they are very thoughtful in their designs. Um, but this is I picked this up from Dial M for Modern, which is a secondhand furniture store. They just moved from Logan Square to a different location, I think in Westtown. But this is a Roger Lapel painting. And so, what's interesting about Roger Lapel, he owned a art gallery in Philly and actually was David Lynch's mentor. So, when David Lynch was in college, he was painting. And they both did these like Francis Bacon style paintings. Um, and so this is one of Roger Lapel's. Um, and luckily, when I got it, the frame was all warped, and my upstairs neighbor, who is an art collector and also makes frames for his artist friends, actually installed this for me so that it would actually sit flush against the wall.
You talk about this big table, like this is something I don't normally see in Chicago apartments. It's beautiful.
Yeah, I mean, this is a huge.
It's so
diagram.
massive.
So I needed something that would fit in it, but I also love the idea of just being like this really social space. So, um, a lot of newer places, people congregate around the island of the kitchen, which I don't have, but this is like similar idea. And I just wanted something that was like rough and aged, so I myself make a lot of messes, and I tend to damage things. So I like that to be part of the character. You can even already see some of my marks.
I know, it's stunning.
But this was from Nadu, which is fair trade furniture shop up in also Ravenswood on Ravenswood Boulevard. Um, and this is just I love when I saw it. I was like, this is perfect. I just love the contrast of very old with new and modern.
Absolutely.
I like character. Yeah, let's go into the kitchen. Um, so as I mentioned, it was like this place was built in 1916. So this is the original kitchen. Um, I believe it's the original. Maybe they might have updated it in the piece, but still it is. This is all original tile. It's actually enameled metal, and there's no way I would ever rip this out because it's gorgeous. The sink is the original. This is like the ultimate farmhouse sink.
And I love the Italian cookies.
Yes.
And you mentioned that that's kind of an inspiration for a vibe in the kitchen, right?
Yeah, I wanted it to feel like a kitchen that you would see either in Milan, but also like someone's nonna like working in her kitchen somewhere in Palermo or outside of it.
It definitely has White Lotus,
Yes.
nonna vibes.
Yeah. So like that whole vibe plus like Dolce & Gabbana's like collaboration with Snag, where they took inspiration from those Sicilian carts that are brightly painted. So I really wanted that palette, like just have fun with the color, but then also like bring in some like natural, cleaner touches, like this counter and cabinets, and then I went for a smaller stove size so I could get more counter space, and then added a hood to it because that wasn't in existence. It was really exciting for them to see all the
that door
changes.
swings both ways.
Yeah.
That is special.
Like, so chef.
So chef.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm very proud of the kitchen because it's very much me, and what I need, and and if I ever move, I hope whoever moves in this place appreciates it. the
Well,
same way I
definitely
do.
they will.
Yeah, so since I mean, we're talking about plates and stuff like that, I really love stuff that's like irregular and like,
Full of texture.
full of texture. I have, I like to collect mugs and ceramic pieces that friends have made or the kids have made
I love
because, this place is rough around the edges, so I'm just trying to embrace that. There's a lot of beauty.
And do you feel so lucky with all of these like wood doors, the French doors here? Do you think you could open and close that for me? I would
Sure.
love to see that happen.
Yeah, for example, if you see the texturing on, I don't know if you can actually capture that, but like this is
absolutely, yeah,
the
you can see
varnish
it.
starts to separate, but it creates this like crackly texture on it, and I actually like that
Yeah.
because it's just it's something different, Into the sunroom. So this was like the original color of the dining room as well. I haven't painted this yet, but I actually kind of like it because it's pretty sunny in here.
So like this is something that I've coined like a solarium. I guess the normal word would be just a sunroom, right?
Yeah, sunroom. A lot of Chicago apartments have these, or at least like pre-war ones. It's actually kind of amazing how apartments were designed at the time. It's just very much about like creating like a very comfortable domestic space and in a healthy space too. We're talking about like a time post-industrial revolution where cities were polluted and dirty. So when Chicago had the Chicago fire happened, there was just like these new ideas of like how people can live. So there was this whole thought about a city within a garden. So that's why when you see in Chicago, there's so much green space, and like this building itself is a courtyard building. So it's creating this very democratic, shareable green space for the residents of the unit, but also as someone that lives in the neighborhood, something you can also enjoy as you walk by. But with that idea, sunrooms were like built all over the city, where people who were living in multi-family units were able to have like this slice of greenery in their own home, and something that they could use in the summer and the wintertime. Because in the wintertime, it being cold, but if you have a sunny day, it's actually very nice to sit in here. This was actually here when I moved in. So there was a family that lived here before I did. You actually could see some of the markings that
Oh, this is so cool.
they left behind.
Do you
with
have
their
any of
hides.
their names here?
It looks like that's just their initials, ALT and PCT.
And when did they start?
Looks like 16 right here.
2016. That is amazing, toddler.
And then my friend Kara and I
Oh, I love
added
it.
ours. These are some more of my ceramic pieces. So you see the lemon motifs. These are actually inspired by those Sicilian head vases.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, was a motif in White Lotus, but these were made way before that. So yeah.
That is stunning. And you said you made these, right?
Yeah.
Wow. What goes into making
Some
a
of that.
piece like this? How long does that take?
Great question. I mean, I made these when I lived in Seattle. Maybe it was me being homesick. There aren't many Italians in Seattle. It's kind of a very whitewashed city.
And I love this piece here. This gentleman.
Yeah, maybe might have been a self-portrait. Not sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, just having that Amalfi Coast lemon motif.
He's very handsome.
Yeah. And then more stuff from friends. Actually, this was a friend that lives in Seattle who's an artist, Colleen. Room leads into the master bedroom. What I love about this room is that it has all of this. I'm not sure what the term is called, but I'm like blanking right now. Do you know what it's called?
You know what? I don't know what it's called either, but
We'll just say molding.
yeah.
It's got, I mean, it's like the original molding. It's like, very, something you'd see like in a French apartment, like somewhere in Paris, right? Even with the cracks in the walls and the bad patched up jobs. Still haven't gotten to painting it, but like it's funny when you live in a space long enough, things grow on you, and become less of a priority of fixing. So
I really like all the cracks. Like in
it's
Italy,
character, yeah.
the housing settles. There's some earthquakes happening. There's some weathering, and it gives you a lot of authentic feel.
So a lot of the stuff that is hanging up are things that I've found secondhand, with a couple exceptions. A college friend, Sophia Leiby, made that print. I should probably have that framed, but let's see what else. And then the master ensuite bathroom also has the same tile in the kitchen. But we're talking about, this is all original. It's not in the best shape, but it's held up. I mean, that's like the original tub.
So what is that made out of? Cast iron?
Cast iron with porcelain veneer.
Wow. And all this original tile too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I just love like the different. There's so much character that you wouldn't even think of, like that are just like built in. Where I'm assuming this is probably was created to like hold.
Oh, for sure, to tie it off. And you have it on both sides.
Yeah.
And an overhead shower. Do you think could you turn that on? That is so unique. I've never seen that.
Really? Okay. It's not really that great.
Well, the water pressure sucks in Chicago, right?
So yeah.
Okay, yeah. Water pressure could be improved.
But this must have been like a luxury,
Oh, absolutely.
Or I don't know, maybe it was the norm then, and then now it's a luxury to have. Speaking of more art, this is another Sophia print. I actually got this one framed, and then I actually found these portraits of different playwrights and authors at Brown Elephant in Andersonville, and usually I don't find anything at that location, but got lucky and picked them up. This drawing, I have two more of the same artist were given to me for free. This is when I was in Seattle, and the my friend's upstairs neighbor was moving out. She was moving back to Ann Arbor, and she was just giving everything away. And I immediately were drawn to these drawings, and they're actually done by this German artist who perished in the concentration camps, but she was known, very well known artist, especially for her life drawings. There's actually a museum in Berlin that like is just her work. I've got Truman Capote and Tennessee Williams. You know, gotta have the gays represented. This is just like my spare room. My friend Ben made this print.
I love the blue.
Yeah, so it's kind of like my studio slash library slash guest room slash I have too much furniture and crap.
Are these some pieces that you made too?
Yeah, they're just bisque, so they were never finished.
And bisque, that's a new term for me. What does that mean?
So with ceramics, that's like the first fire. So usually there's two fires. Bisque is, like, I could be getting this wrong, by the way. I'm sure
That's
someone's
okay.
gonna call me out. Is it's still like it's hard, but it's still pretty fragile, and so to make it, usually this is when you put like a glaze over it after it's fired, and then you put it back into the oven for the second firing, which would harden the glaze. But you could also do it without glaze and have a second fire, and it would just be completely strong. So this is the second bedroom, bathroom, original tile, floor and walls. People go nuts for the toilet because it says Supreme on there.
I love that.
I mean, I'm surprised that Supreme hasn't made a toilet. I mean, people would buy it, but this is. And then those are some more of those more drawings from that same artist.
And then you mentioned you get a lot of inspiration for this room from a clothing brand.
Yeah, a lot of things. I mean, like I like some Art Deco. I mean, I love old Hollywood, like the bachelor pads of that time, the golden age of Hollywood. But big inspiration, Fiorucci, as you can see. Like I said, I like Italian design because it's a lot about color. And whimsy. I hate that word whimsy, but I can't think of a better term. And like sex, there's something always sexy about the stuff that they do. It's provocative. I mean, and it's a mixture of different styles, and I love that type of thinking because, I mean, people like for the last few years have gone like super minimalist, which is fine. I have nothing against that, but I like being surrounded by things that I find beautiful. They don't necessarily fit one particular style or like ideology. So I love that like Fiorucci was just able to find fun in everything and just make it fashionable and accessible and something that's like aspirational, even if it is like kind of campy. Yeah, so as a graphic designer, it's what I love about having your own space is that it becomes your own inspiration.